Hello Dragon Ball fans, it's me, HalusaTwin, and today I thought I'd do something a little bit different from doing the themes, and I thought I'd do a short review on one of my all-time favourites, the joke of Dragon Ball, Yamcha. Okay, so to start off, Yamcha, and Yamcha. Now, the first thing I wanted to pick up on was Yamcha's looks. Now, he's had many different looks all through the entire Dragon Ball series, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball GT, and now in Dragon Ball Super. And regarding the look he has in Dragon Ball Super is where I actually want to pick up on. The simple fact that it looks like Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z Episode 1. Now, the background behind each look of Yamcha's was where he started off with the long hair, was coming away from the desert. He felt nervous in society, and especially around women, and kept his hair longer to make himself feel more confident, after which he started dating Bulma, and then he started to progress within different looks. At the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Yamcha's hair goes back to the way it was before, grows it back into the same style again, following which of course he dies and travels to King Kai's planet. The reason I've started off there is because progressively after that he gets different hairstyles that become shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until eventually he looks like this. Now at this time, this is around about the same time that Buu was defeated at the end of the Buu saga, following which was a movie called Goku and Friends, where Yamcha is sporting the same hairstyle as yet before and still looking quite trim, so it looks like he's still working out even if he's not necessarily going full on with the martial arts 100%, which if you do the math would roughly make this about, say, I don't know, 1 or 2 months or maybe even 3 months after the Buu saga, because Buu is there as a good guy. Now, I don't know if this movie is canon or not to the Dragon Ball universe, but if it is canon, then that would make even less sense to the next point that I'm going to bring up. The point that I want to make is that Dragon Ball Super is set 6 months after the Buu saga ends, where Buu is defeated, and a few episodes in where Beerus decides he wants to look for this Super Saiyan God legend that he's had dreams about. We are treated to Bulma's birthday and the sight of this chap. So who the fuck is this guy? Because last time I checked, Yamcha had short hair and was still quite muscular. This guy is a weed and has long hair. Now, I know exactly what you're going to say. Yes, Yamcha is weak, so yes, he should look weak, but he is still stronger than every other human being on the planet, aside from the Z Fighters themselves and, of course, the Saiyans. I mean, he would even be stronger than Mr. Satan. You may even want to argue that, but Mr. Satan can't fly, can't lift up a car. He might be able to drag several coaches or whatever it is, but Yamcha still would outrank him in fighting ability and in strength, even if he doesn't train. But that wasn't what I made this video for. I was basically just focusing on Yamcha's look. That's probably not even that big of a deal to most people, but to me, it's a consistency thing. It's like when they changed Future Trunks' hair from pink or purple to blue. There was no reasoning for it, they never explained the reason why, it didn't hinder on the story or anything like that, so it didn't actually make that big of a difference. Although it could be explained that he's from a different universe, although he's still from Universe 7, it could just be explained that he is from a alternate timeline of that same universe, so his hair doesn't necessarily have to follow the same pattern of the current Universe 7. Or he may have just dyed his hair. What the hell, I mean, I dyed my hair red, I've dyed my hair black, blue, purple, green, whatever, so it doesn't really matter. But going back to Yamcha, growing your hair from a short length that it was at the end of Dragon Ball Z at the end where Buu was defeated 6 months prior, to the length that it is in the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, Bulma's birthday, is, well, ridiculous. On average, growing your hair from a short length to at least 16 inches would take 36 months, which is roughly around about 3 years. And as this doesn't even affect the story at all, or have any kind of impact, as Yamcha in this series is literally just background art, it shouldn't really matter, but it just matters to me. It's just a consistency thing that I think they should have just followed. A bit like the time they got Android 18's hair colour wrong, from blonde to pink. I don't know how they managed to do that, but it's just one of those consistency things that, you know, was an error. I mean, it's quite possible that the artists of Dragon Ball Super have never seen an episode of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. In any case, the point that I'm trying to underline is that Yamcha in Dragon Ball Super just doesn't look like Yamcha. His build is all wrong, his height is all wrong, his hair is all wrong, even sometimes the scars are all wrong. Yamcha is probably one of my all-time favourite characters, and although he doesn't get a lot of love and he gets a lot of hate and he has been trolled even by the show itself, I just think they could at least get his hair correct. I mean, even look at the clothes he's wearing. I mean, the last thing he was wearing in Dragon Ball Z was a nice yellow suit with a white vest top type thing. He looked, you know, bitching. It looked pretty cool. It looked awesome. Where he was a good fighter or not, whether he was still practicing martial arts, it didn't really matter. He looked like the type of guy that would, you know, get the ladies, whether he messed it up because he's just got a big mouth and just doesn't know when to shut up and always says the wrong thing. The guy had style, and it was something unique to him as well. And now in Dragon Ball Super, he looks like a waiter. I don't know what's going on. I mean, the only time that he actually got to shine was in the episode called Let's Fight with Baseball, and that was a pretty good episode, but even then they still trolled him. Jumper and Vegeta were constantly attacking him, hitting him and knocking him down and bashing him and beating him, and at the very end they did that ultimate joke, the frame death where he's like curled over, like the time where he was destroyed by the Cyberman, and then Krillin goes, "Hey, that pose looks familiar and I don't know why." In that episode he actually looks like Yamcha, but Yamcha from the first couple of episodes where he was playing professional baseball for that team, the Titans. But then at that point I think it was about 3 years later, so his hair would have been that length, whereas at the beginning it doesn't make sense. Now I know I'm just blowing steam and it is just a pointless argument and it doesn't even make a difference to anyone's lives because most people have forgotten Yamcha. Yamcha is dead, he's buried, he's gone. When the Cyberman killed him, he never came back. But to me, you know, he was still a crucial character in Dragon Ball Z, and they've just left him out so much. There's a lot of focus on the main characters, of course, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo even as well, even Tien. Tien coming back as well in Dragon Ball Super, the Universal Survival arc. But come on, man. Dude, I think the point I'm trying to make is that during the Dragon Ball Z series, whether Yamcha was affecting the plot or just getting in the way, he felt like Yamcha. He even in the Japanese series, he still felt like Yamcha, whereas in Dragon Ball Super, he doesn't feel like Yamcha. He doesn't feel like the same character at all. He doesn't have anything to do with the show, which fair enough, you know. He's not a big character in Dragon Ball Super, which is fair enough, but he just doesn't, his attitude, his character, his look, everything, the clothes he's wearing, his haircut, everything, just nothing fits. It just doesn't feel right. Yamcha, I believe they've done Yamcha wrong. Everyone else, fair play. Even Krillin's a little bit wrong. You know, he doesn't feel quite right. But then that's for another discussion. Yamcha, it just doesn't feel like Yamcha. It just doesn't feel like Yamcha at all. It just feels like another character that they've thrown in, a bystander, or a pedestrian. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like the goofball Yamcha, you know, the troll of Dragon Ball. I'm just a little bit disappointed because, I mean, you know, although he's not going to be in anything major, I just wish that he just felt like Yamcha. He just doesn't feel like Yamcha. And, I mean, like, I could be completely wrong, and he does. To everyone else, remind everyone of Yamcha, but to me, he just feels like a completely different character. He does just feel like a pedestrian. It just feels like someone standing in, and a brand new character. Just a waiter in the background, you know, someone that is just in the background. He's like a photo bomber. He's just like that's all he is at the moment. He's just like a photo bomber. Just someone that's just standing there. No feedback, no nothing. A couple of times he opens his mouth and does a Yamcha thing, you know, like where he slipped up with Beerus and what's the nipples boy name? What's his Monica? You know. Apart from that time, and obviously the episode that he featured mainly in, no Yamcha. Yamcha was awesome. He was a joke, but he was still awesome. Dragon Ball Super, nah, he dropped. He's left. He's gone. I don't know who that clone is in there, but that's not Yamcha. That's someone else. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this pointless rant that I just had about a character that doesn't matter, apart from maybe to the very few that still think that, you know, Yamcha is awesome and could have been an epic character. It's so disappointing. But hey, that's fine. It doesn't matter. He's okay. He's a cool guy. But in Dragon Ball Super, he's just lame. He's just a wet flannel. He's just a big drip. But hey, it doesn't matter because, you know, he is Yamcha, and that's who Yamcha is. Yamcha was written to be the joke. Krillin was the joke as well, but Krillin was actually still kicking ass. Yamcha just, you know, Dragon Ball Z he did alright, but Dragon Ball Super he's just a stand-in. He's just another face in the background. You know, it wouldn't even, I tell you what, right, if Yamcha wasn't in the show at all, it wouldn't affect it in the slightest. At all. Why is he even there? Why did they bother drawing Yamcha? Is it just because they should have just killed him off somewhere and just, oh yeah, Yamcha's dead, you know, that's fine. Then they don't have to draw his sad face all the time because it just makes people that like Yamcha want to not like him. It's just one of those, I don't know. They're killing it for me, killing it. But hey, it doesn't matter. Dragon Ball Super doing well. Yamcha, what a shame. But hey, no worries. We've still got TN's. TN's still doing good, so let's put all our money on TN. Alright, anyway, thank you for listening to my little rant of nonsense. And I hope you stay tuned for more tunes. Next track that I'm making is going to be Tien's new form. Well, because assuming that he is going to be trained by Beerus and Whis, possibly to fight in the Universal Survival Arc or Universal Tournament Arc as one of the 10 fighters from Earth, then they're gonna want to train him, because otherwise, you know, we've got no hope. Otherwise, because it's money just like all left on Goku, Vegeta, Gohan possibly, and Piccolo. But then, you know, they wouldn't. And Master Roshi. I mean, I've never understood that one. And that's something I'm not 100% sure about. Master Roshi hasn't been training like since the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, since towards the end of Dragon Ball, as far as I'm aware. I mean, like, since the whole of Dragon Ball Z, all he did was sit around his Kame house, turtle house, just reading porn, watching, like, you know, workout videos, and getting constant nosebleeds, grabbing great Android 18's baps, you know, just doing bugger all. And seemingly, you know, in Dragon Ball Super, he's still epically awesome. He can still transform into the superhuman form and still blast like several enemies that are supposedly stronger than him with a Kamehameha wave. And Yamcha is put to the sidelines. I mean, come on, he was still fighting in Dragon Ball Z. Surely he would be stronger than Master Roshi even. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments for this, but I mean, like, think about it. Think about time-wise. He even, like, at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, went away and did secret training to fight the Saiyans. He slipped up because he didn't realize he got caught off guard by the Cyberman that destroyed him, but he did extra training. If he hadn't have been blown up, he may have, like, progressed even further than Krillin did and Tien all put together. But, you know, he probably wouldn't have been as strong as Tien, but he could have still done pretty well and still gone pretty far. But I cease to believe that Master Roshi is stronger than both Chaozu and Yamcha. I just find that unbelievable. Okay, Yamcha's retired from martial arts, but just get back on the martial arts. Just train a little bit more. Do your 300 times Earth gravity and try and turn the button off. At least he was able to still move. I mean, you know, Goku trained at 100 times gravity and he found it really, really difficult. Although that was earlier on in the series. But he's supposed to be a Super Saiyan. He's supposed to be above all of their levels to a certain point. I mean, Yamcha still wouldn't have been as high level as Goku was when he was training at 100 times gravity. And although Yamcha didn't do very well, he was still able to move and turn the button off. Otherwise, it would have been crushed to death. But anyway, aside from that, it's a completely different argument. Let's just stick with what we have, and I hope to see you soon. You probably won't get that many reviews from me because I rant too much and just go off on a tangent. But check out Expert Games, and check out Dragon Ball World and Dragon Ball Nation, and of course For Never Worlds as well. Good reviews. That's where I get all my predictions from when I'm doing my music. Anyway, check those guys out. They're absolutely epic. I hope you enjoyed what you heard today or what you saw today. And if you've got any comments, put them in the comments section below. And subscribe if you want. You don't have to. You don't have to subscribe. Watch the next video. It will be music if you're interested. You don't have to. It's fine. You know, stay, go, do what you want. It's okay. I don't really mind. As long as, you know, you're enjoying yourself, and, you know, I appreciate all the support I get anyway. So thank you very much, and speak to you all again soon. Bye bye.